In the National Football League, an entire lifetime of grueling work, an entire childhood dream, it can all change in an absolute matter of seconds. Welcome to NFL Nexus. In today's explainer, we are diving deep into the brutal, unyielding reality of team building at the absolute highest level of professional sports. When a new regime takes over a historic franchise, the resulting shockwaves aren't just felt in the front office. They are felt in every single quiet corner of the locker room. Let's be real for a second. There is absolutely no sentimentality in this business. There is no loyalty to what you did yesterday. There is only the vision for tomorrow and the cold, hard, uncompromising metrics required to fulfill it. Today, we're putting the New York Giants under the microscope. Specifically, we're looking at how a singular, massive philosophy shift is systematically dismantling the old guard, literally moving human beings out of the building to clear a physical path for a new, imposing era right before the start of rookie minicamp.
It really is the most terrifying question a professional athlete can ever ask themselves. Think about it. What happens when your dream, your sweat, your undeniable, leave it all on the field hustle simply doesn't fit a new head coach's blueprint? I mean, you can deliver your absolute best tape. You can play your heart out on those grueling, high-speed special teams reps that nobody else wants to do. You can exceed every single expectation that was placed upon you by the previous coaching staff, and it still might not be enough to save your job. Actually, scratch that. It won't be enough. John Harbaugh has arrived in New York, and he has officially ushered in a ruthless new era for the Giants. The decisions being made right now in that building, they aren't based on who tries the hardest. They're based on geometry. They are based on physics. And they're based on a very specific, towering standard that is abruptly leaving beloved veteran players completely out in the cold.
So the absolute core of our analysis today revolves around what we're calling Harbaugh's mandate, the active assembly of a bigger, more physical roster for his very first campaign with Big Blue. Now, in the context of the NFL, a mandate isn't just some corporate buzzword that a coach throws around in a shiny introductory press conference to make the owners happy. No, it is an uncompromising operational directive. And unfortunately, that kind of directive requires immediate veteran casualties. Harbaugh is out there aggressively, methodically purging the back end of this roster of absolutely anyone who does not physically measure up to his vision. Ahead of the start of rookie minicamp this weekend, the front office didn't just talk about it, they made their definitive move. They cleared out 4 established veteran players to make literal physical room for the incoming draft class. And to truly understand the sheer gravity of this massive philosophical shift, we really have to look closely at the human cost of this mandate.
Section 1. The key moment. The end of the Cinderella story.
The NFL is practically built on underdog narratives, isn't it? We all love the guys who defy the staggering odds and fight for every single inch of turf. But sometimes, the clock simply strikes midnight, and the carriage turns back into a pumpkin. The absolute most heartbreaking cut of this entire week for the New York Giants was the sudden release of a defensive lineman who embodied that exact underdog spirit to perfection. Just look at the sheer, wild improbability of Elijah Chapman's timeline. I want you to really picture this. In 2024, he was nothing more than a trial player out of SMU at rookie camp. An absolute, total long shot. He didn't have a guaranteed contract, he barely had a foot in the door. But he fought his way onto the field. He gave the Giants punishing, bruising snaps at fullback when they needed him. He somehow appeared in all 17 games as a rookie, making 3 actual starts, recording 21 tackles and a sack. He survived the brutal week-to-week anxiety of the practice squad the following year, and he finally earned it. He was officially signed to the 53-man roster on December 27, 2025. He did every single thing asked of him. He survived the grueling gauntlet of the NFL fringe. But then, fast forward to 2026, released. Cut by John Harbaugh. It brilliantly and tragically illustrates a terrifying truth of this sport. Your heart and your hustle aren't always enough to survive a regime change.
There's a quote from August 21st, 2024 that I think perfectly encapsulates exactly who Elijah Chapman was for this team. NFL insider Armando Salguero wrote, "Best thing I've seen all preseason." Now, he wasn't talking about a one-handed catch or a 90-yard touchdown pass. He was talking about a viral play where Chapman, a defensive lineman, mind you, tracked and chased down Houston Texans running back J.J. Taylor in the open field. It was a display of tremendous, freakish athleticism. It was pure, unadulterated hustle caught on tape for the whole world to see. But, and here is the deeply tragic irony of the National Football League, chasing down a 185-pound running back 2 years ago couldn't save his job today. Because the game has totally changed in New York, the fundamental criteria for simply walking into that building have shifted right beneath his feet.
The contrast here reveals a really harsh physical reality. Let's break this down. On one side, we have Elijah Chapman, 6'0", 278 pounds. By every traditional metric in modern football, he is widely considered undersized for a defensive tackle in the National Football League. On the other side, you have John Harbaugh's new defensive standard. Bigger, heavier, more physical. So you have to realize this wasn't a failure of effort by Chapman. This wasn't because he didn't know the playbook or didn't work hard in the weight room. This was a purely calculated physical eviction. When a coach comes in and decides he wants to build a massive, impenetrable wall of absolute giants in the trenches, while being a 6-foot, 278-pound scrapper makes you a mathematical anomaly. And in Harbaugh's NFL, an anomaly that doesn't fit the new heavy-handed system is a problem that simply will not be tolerated.
And make no mistake, Chapman wasn't the only one handed an eviction notice this week strictly based on a tape measure. Consider these other roster casualties. Swayze Bozeman, a linebacker brought on board when inside injuries started piling up. His measurements, 6'1", 224 pounds. He fought incredibly hard out there on special teams, but he's out. Then you have Marlon Tuipulotu, a former Eagles 6th-round pick. This guy spent 2 seasons battling in the trenches with the Chiefs before signing a reserve/futures contract with the Giants. He stands 6'2", 307 pounds, out. And then there's Courtney Jackson, an undrafted receiver who bounced from the Broncos to the Seahawks practice squad before landing here. He measures in at 5'11", 189 pounds, out. Do you see the pattern here? The message echoing through the halls of the Giants facility right now is undeniably clear. If you are undersized in any capacity, if you do not fit the heavy, physical profile required for Harbaugh's impending war of attrition, your locker is being cleared out, period.
Section 2. Immediate impact. Enter the rookie class.
When 4 veterans are unceremoniously shown the door, 4 lockers instantly open up. But this whole situation isn't just about who left. It's about the exact dollars, the precise inches, and the sheer pounds that John Harbaugh is bringing in to meticulously replace them. Let's really break down these rookie contracts, because this is exactly where the cold, hard business of football gets intensely real. On the very eve of minicamp, the Giants aggressively signed 4 of their 7 draft picks. Wide receiver Malachi Fields, taken in the 3rd round, secured a massive 4-year deal. We're talking an estimated total value of exactly $7,232,350. That carries a $1.314 million cap hit this year alone. Then look at the 3 6th-rounders, Bobby Jamison-Travis, J.C. Davis, and Jack Kelly. Each one of them securing deals worth over $4.6 million, with cap hits hovering right around $960,000 for the 2026 season. You have to understand, these aren't just random names on a spreadsheet. These are the precise financial resources Harbaugh is actively weaponizing. This is the exact capital being deployed right this very second to fund the physical transformation of the franchise.
Now, I want you to focus really heavily on this specific number right here. $1,719,892. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the estimated signing bonus for wide receiver Malachi Fields. Now, why dwell on this exact figure? Why does this specific pile of cash matter so much? Because in the National Football League, guaranteed money is the absolute ultimate indicator of a team's true intent. It's the only language that really matters. You do not hand a rookie a $1.7 million signing bonus up front, cash in hand, unless you expect him to be an immediate foundational piece of your offense from day one. It is a staggering financial commitment to bringing in top-tier physical talent that aligns perfectly, inch by inch, pound by pound, with the new head coach's vision. They are putting their money exactly where their mouth is.
To truly understand just how uncompromising that vision is, we really just have to look at the wide receiver shift. It tells the whole story. On one side, you have Courtney Jackson, the receiver they just cut, 5'11", 189 pounds. On the other side, the man they just paid millions to, Malachi Fields, 6'4", a towering, imposing player with a massive catch radius who wins close to 60% of his career contested catch opportunities. Let that sink in. The Giants have realized they need sheer size to protect their second-year quarterback, Jackson Dart. They desperately need a huge target who can physically dominate aggressive defensive backs right at the line of scrimmage. So, what do? They traded 5'11" for 6'4". They traded an underdog's potential for raw, undeniable physical imposition.
So how exactly are these new, much bigger pieces going to fit into the complex machinery of this team? Let's detail their new roles, because this instantly raises the stakes for the rest of the established roster. Everyone is suddenly on notice. Malachi Fields is stepping into this building with the immediate, heavy expectation to be the number 2 wide receiver right behind Malik Nabers. He is being groomed as Jackson Dart's new, supersized safety blanket. Then you have Jamison-Travis. He's stepping straight into the brutal trenches to battle veteran Leki Fotu for the backup nose tackle spot behind DJ Reader. And let me tell you, if he loses that grueling camp battle, he's instantly relegated to being just another developmental practice squad piece. J.C. Davis, he is immediately thrust into the highly competitive mix as a vital swing tackle, putting direct, heavy pressure on second-year lineman Marcus Maibo. And finally, Jack Kelly, an off-ball linebacker who could honestly end up being the absolute steal of the 6th round. He is aiming straight for a role as a core special teams enforcer and a highly dangerous sub-package blitzer. Make absolutely no mistake about it, every single one of these rookies was drafted with the express purpose of pushing a veteran to the absolute brink or pushing them completely out of a job.
Section 3. Developments. The UDFA wave enters the fray.
But listen, the high-profile draft picks, they are only half the story here. The tension inside that facility in New York is mounting by the hour, because the undrafted free agent wave has officially entered the fray. 6 undrafted additions have officially inked new deals. You've got defensive tackle Anquan Barnes Jr. coming out of Colorado, defensive tackle Ben Barton out of Wisconsin, cornerback Thaddeus Dixon from North Carolina, long snapper Ben Mann from Boston College, offensive lineman Ryan Schernicke from Kutztown, and kicker Dominic Zavada, arriving straight from Harbaugh's old stomping grounds at Michigan. These are the guys who have absolutely everything to prove and absolutely nothing to lose. They are hungry. The lockers vacated by Chapman, Bozeman, Tupulatu, and Jackson, they are barely even cold yet, and these undrafted rookies are already in there unpacking their gear, ready to prove they have the size, the leverage, and the sheer physical will to survive the absolute gauntlet that is a John Harbaugh training camp.
Section 4. Scale. Changing the DNA. Bigger than a roster cut.
All of this intense churn of personnel, it forces us to zoom out for a second and look at the massive macro scale of what is truly happening in New York. These micro transactions, cutting an undersized defensive tackle on a Tuesday, signing a towering wide receiver on a Wednesday, these aren't just isolated events. This isn't just about cutting 4 guys in the middle of May to make room on a roster sheet. It is about fundamentally, structurally altering the genetic makeup of a historic franchise from the ground up. We keep returning to this quote, a bigger, more physical roster. Just 6 words, but those 6 words carry the weight of an executioner's axe in the NFL. Think about it. That single sentence just ended 4 careers in New York this week. It dictated millions upon millions of dollars in draft capital. It is the uncompromising, ruthless filter through which every single player in that locker room is now being evaluated. If you do not fit this exact physical description, your days in Giants blue are strictly mathematically numbered.
And that leaves us with a truly chilling thought to end our explainer today. It's a striking, ominous question that every single player reporting to minicamp has to be quietly asking themselves in the locker room right now. If Elijah Chapman, a player who miraculously defied all the odds, who played 17 grueling games in the trenches, who showed unmatched viral hustle, and lived a true NFL Cinderella story, if he isn't safe from Harbaugh's unyielding tape measure, who is? The dark underlying reality of the NFL is absolutely no one is safe. This roster purge, it is far from over, and the John Harbaugh era has only just begun.
If you want to continue following every intricate detail, every brutal cut, and every strategic move of this unfolding NFL season, you need to stick with us. Your channel will be called NFL Nexus. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment on what you thought. Who do you think is the very next veteran on the chopping block under this new physical mandate? Let us know down below in the comments. And if you want to take your support to the next level, support the channel by becoming a channel member. We're going to keep dissecting the tape, tracking the granular details of the contracts, and bringing you the absolute best, most comprehensive explainer analysis in the game. Until next time, keep your eyes on the Nexus.